Hello everybody, SeKo Starcraft. It is game 2 of the Teamstory Cup finals between Innovation and Ryung. Team Axiom, Team Acer. Acer was tearing it up, same with Axiom actually. We saw in game 1 Impact, Team Axiom lose to Innovation in a fairly close back and forth game. Which is great news. Impact was just a baller this tournament, just wiped out Team Liquid. I watched it live and I just felt so sad. I'm such a huge Team Liquid fan. Even got myself a nice Team Liquid sweater for Christmas there. I thought that was really fantastic. But alas, it is now on to Ryung versus Innovation. We'll see if Ryung's got the answer for Innovation. He's always been good, but he's just been a little bit better than good recently, getting back up to his top form, and this tournament was a good example of that. We'll see what we have in store here for a Terran versus Terran on a 4-player map, which means that it's very unlikely to be cheese. I think that if this is a 2-player map, it would have been more likely that we were going to see some sort of cheese action out of it. Looks like we might be getting a command center first here out of Ryung, which I like. It is a 4-player map. Innovation, on the other hand, is going for a barracks, but he's got no gas, so it's not going to be for some sort of Reaper super fast banshee play. I think this is to go and scout. I'd love to see him just throw down another barracks and just be okay, well, wherever he exists, I'm going to 2-racks him long distance. See if that works out somehow. I'm having myself a coffee. Got some really fantastic Italian roast coffee for Christmas. And it's early in the afternoon. It's about beer craft time, but it's a long Teamstory Cup series, so I figured I'd start off with some coffee, make sure I can last for the long haul. I'm going to sit down and get them all done in one sitting here, try to get them posted up here as soon as possible. Command center is on the way, barracks is on the way. On this side, actually another supply depot at the front. There's the gas going down. Kind of interesting build out of Innovation here. I know that he needs to get down that supply depot if he wants to start making units. Gas is a little bit more delayed than it would be to get out any really fast tech. So I think this is going to give a bit of an advantage to Ryung, because I don't think that Innovation is going to be able to punish it. I think he had the idea that if he scouted where his opponent was really quickly, he could start sending Marines across to punish it. For instance, if he scouted this first, his Marines would be here by the time one Marine came out. I've seen Flash do builds like that, where they're really effective against people that are going one command center. You likely won't stop the command center, but you'll force it to lift and get out of there while you're getting your own down behind it. That just allows you to really equalize in the economy, maybe even take a slight lead. That being said, Innovation has not seen where his opponent is. And you see there's already 3 Marines out. His opponent doesn't have any. He's just getting that bunker down now, so it would have been a really great timing if he did scout it. Factory is going to be going down much earlier. How much earlier do you say? Not much, in fact, at all. I thought he had a little bit more of a lead than that. That's kind of the benefit of going for that command center first. That's just going to give Ryung slightest bit of an economy lead. And he's actually not that far behind in tech. Innovation did go for a little bit more of a, let's just call it pressure opening. Nothing too serious, but really couldn't take advantage of that at all. Command center is about to finish up. This side, the orbital command is already finished and spitting out SCVs. So we go to the units count. Ryung is already up by 2 workers, and we'll see by the time this is done and making units about how far ahead Ryung really is. This is nice timings out of the factory. Allows you to get down the reactor for double Marines. And it looks like he is going to... it might be a little bit late for Banshees. I am a fan of the slightly delayed Banshee play. A lot of times opponents will think, well, he hasn't sent it yet. Maybe he's not going Banshees. But you hit a timing that's just a couple minutes after that, and you can get a lot of damage in most of the time. But he might just be using it to get out a Raven and a Viking just to keep himself alive against some sort of Banshee play. We do see the starport, but we also see a Widowmine coming out. Going to be going to a really good spot, knowing that his opponent is going to be cutting across his natural. Just about any case. We see the Marines already in position. We actually see that Banshee. It's a great call from Ryung. And we see a Viking going down, and that looks like that missile turret, yeah, right in the mineral line. This is going to be really smart. I believe with 1 Widowmine hit, and I think 1 missile turret hit, that's enough to kill a Banshee. Either that or 1 or 2. It's very hard to move away from missile turret with only taking 1 hit. So that banshee, I don't think is going to get a lot of damage in. We'll see if Innovation scans before he commits his banshee to it. Third command center going down a bit faster. Let's just see what the unit count is. 5 workers ahead right now for the red terran from Team Axiom, but the command center is down slightly ahead, the third one for Innovation. We'll see if that matters at all. Viking already going out to just see if there's a chance to intercept this banshee. I'm almost a bigger fan of leaving it at home for the trap, but we can see that from the looks of it, Innovation, he's just got a different sense of things, knowing that it's too easy to bottleneck an opponent. Did he kill? He did kill his own missile turret. See, that's the interesting thing about the delayed banshee timing, is he expected that timing to hit where the banshee would be there. It didn't happen, so he killed off that missile turret so that he can mine faster. We might see him get in a lot more damage because of that. Very interesting. A little bit unfortunate for our good buddy Innovation. Great widow mine placement there. You almost never scan right outside of your base before you go in. Banshee's in position. Lots of energy there to be able to get down a cloak. We'll just see if he starts using that here soon or not. Pretty big investment in that cloak and a banshee just to get the one banshee out. Oh, there's a second one. There we are. And once again, oh, the missile turret is. Did he build another missile turret? Just for the sake of that? There it is. This banshee's being a little bit miscontrolled, but that's because he was trying to take care of this one. I believe it got killed off. Nope, I can still hear it shooting. There it is. Ay, ay, ay. Where's that? A Viking. That's funny, he almost killed off the entire refinery there in that period of time. So how many kills he get on this? 4 kills, 7 kills. That's pretty good. I mean, you generally don't want to lose these banshees. Combat shields isn't finished yet, so he's two-shotting all these marines. What I always find remarkable behind this is any amateur player will know when you're trying to do this kind of movement, you'll see your resources spike huge because most people aren't that good at being able to balance macro and micro, but we can see that Innovation's really been able to keep up good because of his production capacity he has going on here. Lots of marines, upgrades on the way. Pretty even up on the upgrades here. I mean, Ryung's no slouch of a terran, so I would expect that to be the case. Where's this guy going? He's got nothing in it. That's kind of an expensive scout. 1 kill on that there Widow Mine. And the Widow Mine's going to scout this double drop going across. That's kind of funny. That is a really expensive scout to just have laying around. I wonder if that's a mistake? I don't really know. Watchtower is controlled by Innovation. There are no missile turrets yet over on this side. There are some marines. Viking. Viking finally does kill off that banshee down there. Is the other banshee alive? Let's just check the units tab. Yeah, it's still somewhere. No, he went home and got it repaired up. That's fine. Viking will spot this double drop here. He's gonna stim to get back into position. Don't lose the what you really don't want to lose is... Oh, don't lose the Raven. That was expensive. Almost loses the Viking. And a medevac. So what turned from a completely flop crap attack actually turned into be a somewhat decent one. This guy's almost out of cloak because he's come so far. And he's going to attack another refinery. That's so funny. This is going to go hide in a corner again. I think the Vikings survived, so that should be able to go around and clean that thing up at some point. So Innovation, making the most out of a bad situation, did get in quite a bit of damage with his drop there. Mining very happily from a third, as we can see that Ryung's quite a ways behind in his mining. Let's look at the units tab here. We see a 16 worker lead for Innovation now. How many workers did he kill? He only killed 10. I mean, 10's still pretty good. But it shows that Ryung's just got to keep up a little bit more on his macro. This delayed command center set him back a fair bit. Upgrades-wise, though, slightly ahead for Innovation. We'll see if that comes to make a difference or not. This isn't a huge army coming out right now for Innovation, but with the tanks in position and his +1 attack for his tanks to be done sooner, as long as he doesn't get caught unsieged, should be alright. In this kind of marine tank style against marine tank, what becomes very, very vital, like the marine over there scouting, is your ability to go and snipe off tanks. Like, it's worth it to trade a handful of marines to run in, stim up, and take out a tank or two. If you've got a bigger tank count and you've got better positioning, much easier for you to contain your opponent and go for any type of pressure attacks. We can see that Innovation's just bouncing around, controlling the middle of the map. Ryung's just making sure that he doesn't get sieged up into his base, because he is going to have to think about getting a 4th base here pretty soon. Gonna go for another drop. A little risky. He is still controlling the watchtower, so he might be able to get away with it. Yeah. 2 kills on that marine. The hero. Both players scan each other. You can see that using mules becomes a bit of a liability. Does manage to get 1 tank, but he lost a lot of marines. Not quite worth it. Pretty close. Oh. Lost 1 tank. Pretty cheap there. This is a big problem you got to worry about as well. Is it's very easy for your tanks to fall behind your marines. And if that happens, they'll get sniped off so fast. Ridiculously fast. This is a great position. I'm surprised Innovation hasn't moved up here sooner. Controlling this high ground point really shuts down a base. It controls any type of reinforcement play. Do quick reinforcement play. Nice little split you saw there from Innovation, leaving a few marines out in front to draw some of the tank shots. The one lowly Viking that's still alive from Ryung here. He's got 4 kills on it. And it's interesting to see neither of these players really commit into air superiority. I love getting out just a few extra... Oh, get those tanks. Got 1. Got 2. Pretty good commitment there out of Ryung. Actually sniped a lot of tanks. Supply is much closer now. And I would like to see Ryung maybe take this high ground as well. Put a few tanks over there with some marines. Just start positioning, getting himself back onto an even economy footing here. His opponent's moving up to a 4th base. He's actually going to expand towards his opponent, so it really pays dividends for him to maybe put up some missile turrets on this side. Tanks in the middle, and just keep the marines. Maybe even some Vikings that are just over top of this little funny obelisk here. It's going to keep them a little bit easier. I've been seeing a lot more Terrans focusing on getting that Viking superiority. I mean, marines are pretty cheap and you throw them away, but particularly against people who play very heavy on the bio, sniping off their medevacs becomes a pretty big deal. Pretty good siege time here out of Ryung. Got a lot of shots off, and he's got his army not trapped. I mean, his tank's in a good spot. He might be able to turn the pressure around here. Innovation has position, defensive position. Oh, this could open up a great entrance for Ryung here. Hopefully he doesn't go for a drop, otherwise he will get smoked. Looks as though Innovation smells this, and this is where you want Vikings, right? This is where you want that air control to be able to take care of this. Try to do some cute little drop maneuvering there. But now he's going to lose a lot of missile turrets. This expensive sensor tower is probably going to go down. Wouldn't mind seeing like a drop or something like that running around, but we can see that there's little groups from Ryung just scouting the map out for any type of attacks. That's a lot of missile turrets in one corner. Ryung took a bit of a risk there. I don't mind him trying that. A little bit doomed. Lost quite a bit of supply in that there. Maybe bringing over an SCV to repair wouldn't be a bad idea either. This Viking are probably doing very good right over here. Neither player really taking that air control once again. Making those their missile turrets. Oh, looks like he is going to... Oh no, Ryung just about is able to cut that off. I think Innovation is going to push in for this. I mean, he has to. This is too big of a contain. He's going to lose a lot of units here, but he will clean it up. Meanwhile, we see a real great clutch siege up there from Innovation. If you could sneak by with just even a handful of Marines. This was very smart out of Innovation. It looked like he was walking into a big siege zone. But that was so smart. If he'd let his opponent cut off his ability to defend his expansions, that game probably would have been over. Well, not over, but I mean, if he lost this, there's no defense, he would have just about as easily lost this, even put a few Marines in the back. So that was very good decision making out of Innovation, knowing that that was the time that he needed to bust through there. Does pick up those tanks. We'll get back into a position to siege up. He is kind of abandoning this base, but a planetary fortress does pretty good against just purely Marine armies. Innovation. He's got himself supply blocked. He probably didn't realize that he lost a lot of his supply depots. Good spidey sense out of Ryung to come back and defend this base. It's like chess. You just gotta understand where you're weak and know when you can go and defend against things. Looks like Innovation might just try for this anyways. Unfortunately for him, he never took down these rocks, so he's getting a little bit bottlenecked into this here. Those Marines were not Rambo. Tank's getting a little picked off here from Innovation. Not in the best siege spot. Tried to run in and grab that tank. Looks like it will get sniped from the back. Should take out those rocks so he's got a second. We can see during this, Innovation still has the middle watchtower to see if anything's sneaking by. Reinforcing. Max out again. And Ryung right now is really struggling to try to just get his army count up. Innovation's taking great trades, throwing a lot of his units, even if he has to throw them away, just to be able to make sure he keeps his unit on the back foot here. And Ryung can't let this base go. He's got no inclination of another command center even coming into position here. Great siege up. Loses 2 tanks. Is he gonna go for it? Oh wow, that was a big risk. Once again, he must have just known he had enough stuff there. Because if the SCVs are out quick enough to repair that, splash damage from a planetary fortress will crush. A lot of SCVs are right over here now. Another very interesting decision out of Innovation, just to trade his Marines away. He's going to end up losing most of them, but yeah. Once that base is gone, once again, he just knew if he breaks this army, that's all Ryung's going to have. And he stopped what could have been a much longer game. Fun game out of Innovation. I enjoyed that a lot. Very strategic, just understanding when to make the right decisions, and that allowed him to take the victory. SeKo Starcraft, second game for Innovation, second game for Team Acer. Thanks for watching, and we're going to go on to Game 3 here in just a moment.